All right, we're gonna try a new format today. To be successful in a new format, we should pick a powerful linear deck. Or, and hear me out, we could pick the thing that looks closest to Death and Taxes. Hello, folks. Phil Gallagher, aka ThrabenU, here for another a first Duel Commander video. This donation comes all the way from France, from Amédée. I hope I'm saying that correctly. Je parle un peu français, but it's been a hot minute since I've been to France, to say the least. So, they let me play whatever I wanted, so I am going to play the deck that probably has the most cards that I recognize. We're going to play Phelia Exuberant Shepherd. So this is a really sweet card. It sees a little bit of legacy play. Whenever it attacks, exile up to one other target non-land permanent. At the beginning of the next end step, return that to the battlefield under its owner's control. If it entered under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on Phelia. So we're going to do all sorts of really cool blink nonsense. If you have played Death and Taxes and Death and Taxes adjacent deck lists across many formats, you are going to recognize absolutely a ton of cards in this deck. I am not going to walk through every card because this is a 100-card singleton format. If you've never done Duel Commander before, I believe that they are 30 life games, one-on-one, best of 3. And in between games, if you have another legendary creature, you can switch your commander out. That is your sideboarding for this format, so to speak. So we're going to have a decent amount of efficient removal here. Lots of different 1-mana removal spells and other 1-mana interaction. And then when we start getting to 2 mana, we get into various hate bears. I threw a Spirit of the Labyrinth and an Ocelot Pride into this deck list. The original deck list that I pulled from a large event had a couple of cards that do not exist on Magic Online because they are from strange supplemental sets like the Doctor Who set and the Fallout set. F in chat. And then as the game goes on, we have various value creatures and value engines that we can use, taking advantage of things like the initiative, replaying cards from graveyard, maybe even hardcasting a Solitude, and then blinking it every turn with Phelia. Now, while I am a legacy expert and I know that format in and out, and I can almost always correctly predict what it is I should be doing and what my opponent's doing, I'm going into this video relatively blind, so I'm going to make a lot of mistakes, and I don't care too much about that today. Today is an experiment to see how this format is, how it plays, is it fun? So please be honest today in the comments, good or bad, whether or not you like this, whether or not you want to see more, please let me know. And if you decide you like this format and you want to build a deck, please consider checking out my sponsor, TOAmagic.com. Tales of Adventure is an awesome store. They have an awesome stock, and you want free shipping? I know I want free shipping. Promo code ThrabenU will give you 5% off your order, and free shipping, well, that's on the house with them. With that being said, let's battle. Okay, so we are playing against Tamiyo, Inquisitive Student, which is going to be some sort of control deck, obviously. I don't have a way to initially remove a Tamiyo. I have an Urza's Saga. Is Sol Ring legal? Fuck, Sol Ring's not legal? What is this format? So Urza's Saga is not actually all that cool. I'm just going to mulligan this hand then. Yeah, no, I like this a lot better. So, Containment Priest plus Phelia is Exile Duders forever. I'm going to get rid of Skyclave Apparition. So I'm going to drop an Ocelot Pride here. And Tamiyo as a blocker doesn't stop me from gaining my life and getting cat tokens. Alright, there is Tamiyo. Static Prison. Sure. This is a temporary removal spell. So Phelia has Flash. I do not know the format well enough to know which removal spells I need to be playing around. So my opponent just blocks, that's fine. Because I don't know what removal spells I'm playing around, I think I am just going to cast this now, rather than taking advantage of the fact that it does have flash. There's presumably a gajillion different counter spells that my opponent can have at 2 mana that all do relevant things. So I think I'm just going to take advantage of the... Oh shit. Just Painter Servant Grindstone could kill me out of nowhere. Alright, good to know. This is a singleton format though, so that's a thing. So always land drop. I think I would like to start by casting Containment Priest and seeing if that resolves. Alright, it does resolve. So now I will use my Phelia trigger to blink out the ThrabenU, and it's not going to come back. At least hopefully not. Opponent goes to 16 when everything's all said and done. Oh, I guess it is a 20 life format, my bad. I thought it was a 30 life format. Said that wrong. Now we'll Portable Hole. We'll take out that Grindstone just so nothing bad ends up happening to us if our opponent just kind of has the nuts. Now I make a cat. Alright, we are getting a response. Oh, it's just a Surveil land. That's totally fine. Wait, you're allowed to play these? Oh, because ThrabenU's green on the backside. Color indicator. Sure. Witness Protection. Loses all abilities. And is a 1/1. A 1/1 legitimate business person. I don't really think I care. Like, I will just run my opponent over with cats. My opponent's at 9 already. And I get more cats. I'm going wide of what my opponent is doing. I have a Mana Tithe or another removal spell for if things go poorly. Arkham's Astrolabe. I'll just send in with everybody first. Cryptic Command. I'm going to Mana Tithe the ever-loving fuck out of a Cryptic Command if that's what's about to happen. Yeah, what year is it? Cryptic Command. Gee whiz. Good shit. So, is there a legendary creature that I would like to be my commander more than Phelia? What are my options? Lauren, no. Samwise, no. Thalia, reasonable. Phelia is just value versus the control deck. I could do something like this as well. I don't know. Phelia is kind of sweet. Where's my submit button? There's my submit button. Deck's perfect. Alright. We're both still on the same critters. I'm going to keep my hand. My opponent's on the play this time. I don't think I Static Prison a turn 1 ThrabenU to just get it out of the way for a couple of turns. I think I just want to play Guide of Souls. That card's good. This feels sort of like I am playing a really, really good cube draft. Alright, so opponent's got land drops. They can crack these land drops for clues. That's not what I meant to say. My opponent has clues. They can use their lands. It's so weird seeing cards that look like this. Lol, 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 lol. Alright. Probably attack first. Obviously don't have enough energy to trigger that right now. 19. Jam Spirit. This card's sweet if it resolves. Seems like my opponent does not want that to resolve. Hedge Maze confirmed good. They don't want their Lorien revealed. Daze. Daze on Hedge Maze, so my opponent can use it again. Seems sweet. That makes it harder for my opponent to crack clue tokens to actually get realized value. And they like their card from the second Hedge Maze trigger. Cool. I guess attack first is fine. Opponent goes to 17. Stoneforge is cool. So I think I am into the Batter Skull. I'll get my energy. And I think I am into removing ThrabenU. I think this probably just eats a small counterspell, some, spell pierce level shitter that is going to miss a lot of my other stuff. Alright. So is this going to go in the Static Prison? It does go in the Static Prison. So my opponent has lost access to ThrabenU. Opponent could redirect it to the command zone. They chose not to. My opponent's removal options are probably really wonky, right? Like, because they have to play blue and green things. So stuff like Dismember is not on the table. You just easily clear a Stoneforge Mystic. So we're potentially just getting in there. All right. I will pay for this. This is a really good tempo play here. So I am, in theory, holding up Reprieve and Stoneforge Mystic. I think I'll just attack for 1 this turn. Alright, so opponent thought about tapping down something and then didn't. I'll bash in for 1. Opponent's at 15. And I'll just pass. Like, I've got plenty to do here. Gain control of it. My opponent just wants to use this to sacrifice and get their commander back. Does that even matter? Not like it can attack immediately or anything. That doesn't feel like that matters. You can have it. So this goes away. Tamiyo comes back, but with Summoning Sickness. Another land drop. My opponent tapped and untapped some lands and then took no game actions from there. So I think thing number 1 is just put in the Batter Skull. Yeah. And I think I just hold up Reprieve rather than use my mana. Arkham's Astrolabe is kind of whatever. Combat. Attacks. Send in. Guide of Souls trigger. Yes. Do this on the Guide of Souls itself. Okay. Opponent just absorbing a little damage there. That's totally fine. And then I'll pass the turn with Reprieve and Phelia available. Yeah, you can crack a clue. That's totally fine. Not willing to crack the other clue there. More lands. I also just, like, for the most part, don't have to worry about blue board wipes. There's some weird shit that exists in Magic's history, like the Aether Spouts type stuff. I'm not overly worried about that. 4, 7, 8. Counterspell backup. Oko. Does that card matter? That card probably matters. Let's send that one back to hand. Alright, that's good enough to get some motion here. Oh, it's just cracking a clue. Sure. So that's a look at a Force of Will type card. Misdirection. Sure. So my Reprieve is countered because my opponent changes the target to Misdirection, and then when Misdirection is no longer on the stack, Reprieve does not have a legal target. So that's how that works. My opponent is going to plus on one of these artifacts here, I think. Then I'm going to play Phelia and blink the token, right? Yeah, so I'll play Phelia, blink the token, and I have lethal. Assuming no Daze, Force of Will, that sort of stuff. Alright, my opponent went into the tank for a really long time before plussing on Soul Guide Lantern. And this is deterministic lethal, assuming no counterspells. So, yeah. Yep. Alright, first game of Duel Commander, first win of Duel Commander. Dog, unbeatable, too cute. Today's video is sponsored by Moxfield.com, and I could say all sorts of great things about them, but I'm just going to point to this number. I have 488 deck lists stored on this site. That should give you a feel for how I feel about this website. And if you were to go to my profile, you could see all the deck lists that I'm messing around with, including my EDH decks, and you can even see some of the deck lists I record with before they hit the channel. Ooh. Alright, my opponent has revealed Atraxa Grand Unifier. It's my understanding that this is value that can ultimately go infinite or pseudo-infinite with Food Chain. I have a single land here. I think my deck needs 2 lands to operate. I'm just going to go ahead and mulligan. Okay, so I know that the last words out of my mouth were my deck needs 2 lands to operate, but this does not actually cast my white cards on curve. That is disastrous. I will go to 5 rather than keep that. This is fine. Jitte is probably not exciting versus Giant Atraxa Body. And I am probably not interested in this. I have no idea what my opponent's beginning game is going to look at, and I'm not just going to pull up a deck list here. I'm going to just figure it out as I go along. So Skrelv here is a Mother of Runes that technically has Toxic upside. So it gives Toxic 1, Hexproof from that color until end of turn, can't be blocked by creatures of that color. This is illegal. Alright, this format's ruined. I'm out. They killed my cute Mother of Runes style creature. I hate it. Okay, so I do not know this format well enough to know the speed at which I should play out this card. I don't think I'm worried about Orcish Bowmasters. To play around counter spells that cost something like blue, I'm just going to play this out now. Oh, it has great mana here. And we're chilling. So, am I willing to attack into my opponent's 3 open mana? Probably. I'm probably willing to do that, because I can blink the token on attack. So, attack you. Trigger. Kill the orc. See if anything sad happens to my dog. Alright, nothing sad happens to my dog. I'm going to use my mana for the sake of using my mana here. It's turn 3. The Vial is not likely to do a ton over the course of the remainder of this game. Hey, there's the counterspell that I played around with my Phelia. But I think I kind of need to be aggro here. I am down a few cards, so if my opponent gets to the point that they can actually cast this, like, we are shit out of luck. I could War Room and draw a card, or I could start trying to scale Phelia, which is, I think, what I'm going to do. I will cast Aether Vial, go to Punchies, target this Vial, drop my opponent to 16, bring back my Vial. Don't kill my dog. Haven't you seen John Wick? That doesn't go well. Got rid of Mystic Sanctuary. And then just cycle a land. That's fine. So Phelia scales up. I have Mishra's Factory as a blocker versus Orcish Bowmasters, and given how little I have going on to like actually do with my mana, I'm totally okay firing up a Mishra's Factory and having my opponent use a removal spell on it. Cool. I don't have a lot of time here. File goes up. So I am not actually using this turn. Awkward. Alright. Send it on in. Attack. I am going to continue to try and scale up Phelia. Blinking Bowmaster is not necessarily the best prospect here. Alright, yeah. My opponent's just gonna absorb some damage. There's hope for me yet, I guess. My opponent hasn't put anything scary into play. And my opponent can probably run a gajillion Surveil lands. Alright. Theoretical 2-turn clock. We're pretty good at getting through blockers. Best Aether Vial ever. Yeah. That comes at the cost of activating War Room, though. That's super awkward. Oh, wait, no. Fucking Aether Vial. Card's broken. So, attack. Phelia trigger. Target Aether Vial. In response, activate Aether Vial. No. I'll just replay it. That's fine. Yes. My opponent takes 2, and I'll pass with the intention of recasting my commander. I do get my Vial back still. This is looming, though. Look, it's here. Cast Phelia. Alright. Now Atraxa gets to do Atraxa things. Force a Will, real good. Oh, so my opponent only gets a draw 3 off of that. Could have been worse, honestly. We also could be in an the only way out is through, and I end up blinking this Atraxa situation. Skull Clamp is interesting. I wonder if my opponent Force of Wills a Skull Clamp. This is bait. Yes! Yes! Now, goes on a land. Neat. Now, I will Ossification the Atraxa. Oh, that feels good. Alright, so it's under there. We have some slightly longer term problems that we'll deal with later, but we're working on it. This is the slightly longer term problem. Fire up the factory. Punchies. Send it. Target my Vial again. And now there could basically be any card in my opponent's deck. Like, I don't know if my opponent is going to have Supreme Verdicts or Solitudes or what, but I have very real things that I have to worry about. Alright, damage goes through. My opponent's at 4. Theoretical lethal on board, but actual lethal probably not happening. Phelia becomes a 3/3. I am not sure if this is the correct timing for that spell, because this is doable at instant speed after my Phelia trigger has already resolved. Oh, my opponent found a shit ton of removal, so I don't know that that actually matters. Emrakul, the Promised End. Wild. It's another draw 3, so Long Goodbye, Emrakul, and what was the last one? And Lorien Revealed. Okay, this spell can't be countered, but I can make it removed from the stack because it has no valid target. So let's protect. In black. I guess let's not yield through end of turn in case an edict happens. This is now gone. This is now gone. I have Theoretical Lethal on board. Blink and attack for 5. My opponent has 4 mana, 3 unknown cards. I've already seen Orcish Bowmasters. I think I will go ahead and activate my War Room here. Alright. That's a thing. Alright. Factory. Let the record show that if this attack step is not lethal, I'm so fucked. because my opponent gets to reuse this trigger. But we squeak over the line here. This game was very close to slipping away. Okay, do I want to change out Phelia for Thalia? Probably not. Phelia is good at getting Atraxa out of the way. And while Thalia does tax a whole bunch of removal, Phelia can grind value and get Atraxas out of the way. I think I like that better. Ooh, I'm on the draw with a Gemstone Caverns? That kind of fucks. I can get rid of any card, right? Yeah, this is fine. Do this. Get rid of the March. And this gives me an insane opener of turn 1 Phelia, turn 2 White Plume Adventurer, and that is the most Phil shit ever in the history of Phil shit. We are so fucking there for it. Alright, no fetch there. If my opponent fetches, I am going to play Phelia in response. Sure. I think you can make an argument that I am potentially supposed to upkeep Phelia, but I don't know how much sorcery speed removal my opponent is going to be playing, like for how relevant that is. Mana Tithe. Alright, so that was just online the entire time. Okay. Yes, I will return Phelia to the command zone. I think I am down for jamming White Plume immediately. The question is, do I do it off Urza's Saga? If I do it off Urza's Saga, I'm not playing Phelia for a little while. I think that's fine. I think White Plume into activate Urza Saga a bunch of times is a shit ton of pressure for an opposing control deck. Do I get to take the initiative? Fuck yeah. I will pick one of these planes. And now I can play a Benevolent Bodyguard to potentially back up White Plume or Swords to Plowshares, an opposing creature out of the way. This start feels really fucking strong. Now, in case you weren't around for when this was Terrorizing Legacy, this is at the beginning of each opponent's upkeep. Untap a creature you control. Are we going left? Yeah. I am the beatdown here. I'm okay if I eat a Swords to Plowshares or whatever, and it's not the best for me. So, let us cast a Benevolent Bodyguard before we do anything else here. My White Plume maybe gets... Oh, sure. Stern Scolding is fine. Punch you in the face for 5? Oh, that stings. Like, Trap is coming, so my opponent is effectively at 9. This gets to untap. I have Urza Saga Construct tokens coming. Yeah, you can absolutely spend mana on Ponder. Ooh, that's a tapped land. That is not the best right now when my opponent is under this much pressure. The initiative is fucked up, folks. Like, in a one-on-one format, this mechanic is so incredibly strong. Witch Enchanter's kind of whatever. Let's go 2 mana. So these are 2/2s, about to be 3/3s. What am I interested in here? Not Skull Clamp. So my opponent is about to take, in theory, 5, 6, 7, 8. Shadow Spear equip is 9. Skull Clamp equip is also 9. I like Skull Clamp equip better. Skull Clamp equip lets me leave open Swords to Plowshares. 9 incoming. Stunned him. Oh, my opponent just fucking died. I am the greatest commander player of all time. Oh, we are going to play a Phelia Mirror this round. I am on the draw. I have a good thing to blink. I guess I have removal spells. Is this damage prevention? X damage that a source of your choice would deal to you or creatures you control is instead dealt. Yeah, okay. I would really like a little more mana to get to Restoration Angel. But I think this is probably fine. Alright, opponent's chilling. So, yeah. I guess Crystal Bane gets me to Restoration Angel. And yeah. So I get a clue for that. You gonna use a removal spell on my Novice Inspector? Oh, it's an Enlightened Tutor. Or Urza's Saga. Oh, not playing it now. Gonna kind of drag this all the way that way. Oust is a fucking sorcery. I think I can make a stop hitting yourself moment. Combat. Send in. Alright. Opponent doesn't go for it, then I'll just play my own Phelia. There's my opponent's Phelia. Do I want to play my own Phelia right now around Mana Tithe? No, because there's sorcery speed enchantment removal. I can deny that mana. Denying that mana might be really important. I think I'm going to deny that mana. Get out. Nice Enlightened Tutor. Mom's cool. I can just oust that. Phelia can blink my clue. No blocks. Do I want to Shining Shoal and have Phelia kill itself? I think so. I think that's a good tempo play here. So I believe that I just target Phelia, exile the Ossification, choose a source. Okay, cool. So Phelia junks itself. Council's Judgment is cool. I think I am interested in ousting Mom. So my opponent will redraw that. Then I'll attack for 2 and play my own Phelia. Sorry, attack for 1, play my own Phelia. And then hopefully Phelia plus Restoration Angel ends up generating some good value. Yeah, you can investigate. Ooh, yeah, taking out that Urza Saga was a clutch read on my end. My opponent tutored for a land, so, like, it was kind of telling that that land was hyper important. Sure. Junk Clue and attack. Hold up Restoration Angel. Hello? Okay, there we go. I also just have Restoration available for white removal like Swords to Plowshares, which is super cool. Send Phelia, junked your clue. Opponent takes the obvious block and takes a little damage. Oh, hey, it's Mother of Runes again. Attack, attack. Oh. I don't think I'm going to play around exactly Mana Tithe. Restoration Angel blinks my Inspector. Yes. Do the thing. Staff of the Storyteller. That's pretty cool. This is the turn that I sacrifice this, I guess. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's just so much value. So we'll start with the Council's Judgment. I get rid of the Mother of Runes. I have a massive onboard advantage right now. And it's just going to get bigger here. So I make a friend. I put a counter on this. That counter is not going to be hyper relevant this turn. So we send in Phelia trigger. Phelia targets Staff of the Storyteller. Opponent will probably take the obvious block again, take 5, and then I return my staff while putting a +1/+1 counter on Phelia. And I can draw cards with Staff of the Storyteller. I'm very, very, very far ahead. Taking out my opponent's Urza Saga before it produced mana probably just won me the game on the spot. Lion Sash is too slow here. That doesn't matter. Cataclysm. Not so much interested in that one right now when I'm this far ahead. Benevolent Bodyguard. Sure. Oh, I'll do that. Would I be okay trading Novice Inspector for Lion Sash? Yep. Send him. Phelia can target this again. This is such a sweet engine. Okay. Opponent just takes the obvious block. Going to 6. Phelia grows. I make more flyers. I have lethal in the air next turn. I imagine that we're done here. Liquor Wisp. Sure. This is protection from a color. Targeting my Phelia. Let's draw my card. Seasoned Dungeoneer. That doesn't super matter. It just comes back and I have 3, 4, 5, 6 in the air. Yeah, no, that's fine. No, don't return to the command zone. I return Phelia. Yeah, I can even look at my opponent's hand just to make sure there's no nonsense before I do anything else. What does this do? Sure. Sure, that's just a fun thing to blink. I know you. Got it. Wait, I don't have lethal in the air. I probably don't actually need to think about this. Blink the thing that can block Restoration Angel out of play, and then it's still just enough bodies that it's lethal, right? 4 in the air gets through. No, sorry. No, I do have lethal in the air. I'm an idiot. There's more tokens in that pile. Okay. I don't think I want to change out over Phelia. Not sure if I am ever going to do that. Phelia seems sweet. Stoneforge Mystic in my opening hand means that I have access to immediate Jitte. That's cool. The rest of my hand is pretty dead though, and I'm on the draw, so my opponent gets Phelia going before I get Stoneforge doing something serious that matters. While I think this is reasonable on the play, I don't think it's good enough for the draw. Yeah. Cataclysm goes away here. Esper Sentinel. That's an annoying creature. I don't actually have any good creatures in my hand right now. I am unsure if I can take a turn off in terms of tempo to not give my opponent a card, though. I think this Aether Vial represents a ton of value, assuming average draws if this game goes on, and I do have the ability to stop some of the scariest things from happening. I think I'm gonna just kind of accept giving my opponent a card with Esper Sentinel. I'm not super excited about the prospect of giving them more than one. Esper Sentinel specifically triggers off non-creature spells. I have multiple flash creatures at my disposal right now, so that's a thing. There's Phelia. I think I try to kill Phelia with Samwise in combat. I don't know, that takes down my Vial. Maybe an upkeep path. Some things punish it. I think I like the idea of upkeep path. Paying for Esper Sentinel. Alright, no Mana Tithe or Ephemerate. Alright, new land drop. We'll see if my opponent tries to push the 1 into my Vial. They do. I don't have anything to punish. I'll go to 18. Oh, we're just chilling. That means removal is likely coming. I technically should have tapped my Vial at end of turn. Just kind of do a Containment Priest check. So, do I want to get an ETB tapped land out of the way? Do I want to hold up an extra mana? I just want to get the ETB tapped land out of the way. Oh, this doesn't ETB tapped. I'm so used to it ETBing tapped from Legacy where you're getting it with Reclaimer. My bad. Then that was objectively the wrong land drop to play. Because I lost this utility for later. And that is a land that is killable via Tectonic Edge. Now, the game begins. Past Phelia. My opponent is going to remove Phelia. Enchanted Permanent is a vehicle artifact with crew 5 and loses all other card types. I don't want my opponent to draw a card. I wanted them to just like remove it. I could put it to graveyard, return it with Samwise. That was the plan. And this targets a creature, so it's like now or never. Yeah. Alright, Phelia is back. That has no target and fizzles. And hopefully I now kill this Esper Sentinel. Solitude. That's going to send it to exile. I don't get to do my cool Samwise thing. Do I want to just Samwise and trade with Esper Sentinel, since I am going to tap out for a Batterskull in the next couple of turns anyway? I think so. Oh, it is the Containment Priest. I got punished for... Well, I mean, I guess it would already be in play, but I should have known this was coming earlier. I will not do that. I'll go to 19. Scavenger Grounds. Exile all graveyards, like, can actually be relevant. Ephemerate Rebound, not really doing anything. This returns permanents. I'll leave this at 2. Mana Tithe, not great currently. I'll pass the turn with the intention of end of turn 4 mana Phelia. Destroy target non-basic land. You got it. Blue mana. Samwise. Allen Gates of Madara Uchiha. Get that back to hand. Some nice value. I've got Mana Tithe for a big banger that my opponent can play, like a Batterskull or a Restoration Angel. But I am objectively behind here. And thinking about it more, I don't think I should have done that. I think I should have just cast my Phelia and try to establish Containment Priest Phelia. Fuck. Mana Tithe does not counter that, since my opponent had the extra land drop. Ooh, that's bad. That's very, very bad. Because now this creature is not going to come back when I become the Monarch due to Containment Priest. And my opponent is going to be drawing extra cards. My opponent can kind of play their Phelia first. I'll leave this at 2. Well, so I can Skyclave the Containment Priest to attempt to get my Samwise back. Containment Priest never coming back is probably good for me. I'll play this. I'll phase out the Esper Sentinel for the turn. Then Skyclave the Priest, pass. This at least puts some doubt around the combat step. Fuck. Alright. Where's the Saga? Sure. Alright, opponent chilling. So I believe that I need to just, like, pass the turn. It just sucks. My opponent is probably going to play an end of turn Phelia, and they have more mana than I do, so it's just like not that big of a deal if I Mana Tithe this. and I am just using my mana. Can't cast this. If I Solitude this, then I can cast that. I hate this. Pay the tax. Saga ticks up. My opponent can bury me in constructs. There's so much more card draw. I think I'm more or less at the point where I'm willing to just concede the game. I think I'm going to take one more draw step and see if anything drastically changes this. But my opponent has more cards, more mana, better board presence, and has locked out my commander. And I'm just not making any headway. So take a redraw. Fuck Esper Sentinel. Land is not going to do it. I could play this out for a couple more turns, but I'm behind on clock. Because I don't really know what's going on in this format, so I think I'm just gonna go to a game 3. This is fine. Phelia plus Staff of the Storyteller is a cool thing that can happen. Just a little awkward if my opponent plays a good 1-drop. What does this one do? It just becomes a dude later on. Yeah, that's fine. I'm just gonna pass the turn and play Phelia. Force my opponent to have an instant speed answer to it. Then on my next turn, I can play Staff and Static Prison. So, cast. So, land drop. Staff. Make my 1/1. Go to combat. Player attackers. Target my Staff. Draw a card in response. It is a Shining Shoal. Junking, was that a Flicker Wisp? Junking a Flicker Wisp, sure. That is just going to be effective removal for my Phelia. And my opponent is going to play their own Phelia, which I will answer the following turn. Yes, return to the command zone. I will get some stuff at end of turn, though. There's my opponent's Phelia. But if their Phelia is going to attack, it has to blink one of these spirits, or they potentially walk into a blowout. Then I have multiple cool things going on with my hand for the following turn. Stoneforge Mystic, yes. Finding a Batterskull. Am I losing a spirit? I am losing a spirit. That's fine. I'll take 2. Ooh. I would like to answer multiple cards this turn, though. I think we start out with Static Prison. Junk my opponent's Phelia. See if they put it under Static Prison. They do. That's okay. I am just trying to get rid of that temporarily. So this is fine. Now we're going to Skyclave this Stoneforge away, so that Batterskull doesn't come in at a discounted rate. And what can you put counters on? Okay, you can put counters on anything. Fantastic. If my opponent plays a land drop, I can also just Tectonic Edge them off a land, if that's something that makes sense, and then bring it back with Sarah Paragon. How much do you cost to activate? Like 5? 5, sure. Donjo, nice. So I'll play Tectonic Edge. I think send in for some damage, see if any weird flash stuff happens. I can do cool things with Wandering Emperor if so. Okay. So I can just play Sarah Paragon this turn. I think I'm going to draw a card and then make my decision. I don't really hate just junking a land here. I'll do it later because of Samwise, though. Spirit of the Labyrinth, Staff of the Storyteller combo. Pass. My opponent didn't respond to Spirit of the Labyrinth with War Room. Oh no, it's 1 card each turn. That's still valid. Yeah, that's fine. I'm gonna go ahead and Tectonic Edge. Cave? The white mana seems more relevant right now. Or multi-spelling. Yeah. You may have your small body. +1/+1 counter? No, +1/+1 until end of turn. Got it. Palace Jailer. That can get rid of my Spirit of the Labyrinth. What? What? But you don't get to do full Monarch shit. Cataclysm. I think I am sacrificing my Static Prison and then replaying it with Sarah Paragon. So, yeah. Recast Static Prison. Re-exile Phelia. If my opponent redirects to the command zone. They don't. I'm not interested in attacking the spirit. We'll call it a turn there. Oh, Phelia does go back. Sure. Their own Sarah Paragon. Nice. I would love to draw a single target removal spell here. My opponent is denied drawing a card. So I can sacrifice this. The creature isn't under it anymore. I don't have a way to blink it. Gain 2 life. 6 mana, so I can Recruiter of the Guard for a 3-drop. There's some cool stuff. Can be activated at instant speed. Let's replay Tectonic Edge from Graveyard. Go to combat. Send in with this. My opponent blocks. Wandering Emperor. +1/+1 counter. And first strike. Now, Tectonic Edge, blow up a land. That one costs life. I'll take War Room. I gain some life while doing it as well. And then I can presumably Recruiter of the Guard for something cool next turn. Urza Saga is fine. First strike on Spirit of the Labyrinth is also just like perfectly reasonable as well. Cataclysm with my Planeswalker, not the best. There's the Batterskull. Alright, so my Wandering Emperor is being attacked. I think I just let that go. The Spirit of the Labyrinth is really valuable right now, stopping Monarch nonsense. I think I'm getting a Lauren and blowing up a Batterskull and then becoming the Monarch. Spirit of the Labyrinth, doing some serious fucking work. So yeah, Lauren, cast Lauren, blow up Batterskull. I think just hit my opponent in the face for 7. Like, I can try to play Sword and Shield here, but I think ultimately I am trying to reduce my opponent's life total to 0 here. And now that I am the Monarch, at some point, assuming that I hold the Monarch, I can get rid of my own Spirit of the Labyrinth so that I can actually start drawing cards effectively. 3/4 body. Ooh, fuck. That's not good. What does this do? Well, color is not great. I guess it does things. I guess it does things on white. So send that in. My opponent just takes that. I'll pass the turn. I will draw my theoretical card. Ooh, okay. Sure. How much does this cost? Is this 2? No, it's 4. Understood. Might end up timing out. It's a shame because this is pretty interesting. Floating colorless mana. Shadow Spear. Sure. Shadow Spear equip. I control a legendary creature notably, so this cost is reduced a little bit. That is 100% relevant right now. Sure. Alright, so my opponent sends in for 4. I will just Aganjo that. Don't want my opponent to gain that life. Skyclave Apparition. So that's going to resolve. Opponent targets Sarah Paragon. What if all creatures have protection from white until end of turn? I don't lose that instead. Alright, Spirit of Labyrinth is in play. You and target opponent each draw a card, which means I just draw a card. Portable Hole. Mana value 2 or less. So, I have 4 damage in the air. Wait, can this hit a token? Target non-land permanent. So I can hit this and force blocks. I can also just hit the Shadow Spear, which is perfectly reasonable. I can also just Cataclysm kill, right? So keep enchantment, keep creature. My opponent keeps creature. Yeah, that'll do. Cataclysm, creature, enchantment, land, artifact. I think my opponent wins this game if they just use Eldrazi Displacer. Creature, enchantment, land, artifact. Done. Also replay a land from graveyard. Ooh, my opponent gains 2 life. Fuck, I forgot about that. I don't think it matters. I think I just hit my opponent with Sarah Paragon twice, and it's not actually a problem. Portable Hole. Take that out. Play a land from graveyard. Send them. This is lethal. My opponent has to block. And then I just kill with Sarah Paragon next turn. Opponent has to top deck a removal spell. Nice. Send on in. Woo! We get there. The dog cannot be stopped. Not even by the MTGO timer. I don't even know what the fuck is going on in the command zone over here. I've never seen this card in my life, and there's too many words on it. Draw a card, discard a card. Instant or sorcery discarded. Drain 1. Sack it. You may cast target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard this turn. Exile it if you cast it. Okay, cool. So, control bullshit. Seems like being on the play with the Drannith Magistrate is good. Fuck! My Drannith Magistrate. Oh man, that's so bad. What the fuck is stitched together? Is that the weird... Okay, that's the weird reanimation spell. Okay. So, my opponent is Reanimator. Damn it! So, I now have some thinking to do. I could, like, march, pitch, Stoneforge, and then play Draneth to keep that locked under there. I don't hate it. I could also just march, pitch Draneth, play Stoneforge, get Batterskull, put my opponent on the back foot that way. I like that better. Get out. I think tempo matters a lot, more so than value here. And I think I am into this first before Phelia. Get the Batterskull. Third land drop. And we're chilling. What is this? 3 damage to target attacking or blocking creature. Cool. Pass turn. Tainted Pact. This is a fun one in a singleton format. My opponent is... Oh, was this just getting a land? Astral Dragon? Well, how the fuck do I see your Astral Dragon? Do I really have to go and look that up on a... I do. This is it. 4/4, ETBs, make 2 tokens that are copy of target non-creature permanent. Yeah. So that is presumably just a reanimation target. Huh. Well, there's no more land over there. And I am ready to do violence. Ooh. Oh, I am ready to do violence. Send it. 15. Do I send it on Cataclysm? I don't think so. My opponent must have, like, counterspells or some shit over there, right? Like, okay, so my opponent can now discard that to put it into graveyard. Sure. There's another land drop. So I love this sequencing here. So I'm going to cast an end of turn Phelia. And if my opponent counters this, because, you know, it's my commander and my deck is built around it, then I probably just resolve a Cataclysm. The Phelia admittedly doesn't do that much right now. Oh, yeah, they can just kill it upon entry. That's fine. Shallow Grave. That's not great. I was anticipating bouncing Batterskull. I wasn't expecting to have to deal with instant speed reanimation. So those are 3/3 Batterskulls. This is going to go away when? At the beginning of the next end step. So I can Phelia attack and get rid of 1 opposing Batterskull and just trade a Batterskull for a Phelia. If my opponent blocks with another one, I just Razor Grass ambush it. Yeah, that seems fine. Attack you. Blink a Batterskull token. My opponent for value probably blocks with the Batterskull Germ. Yeah. So do that there. So take out that. Nice. I'm gonna lose Phelia. That's fine. But I don't think I want to give my opponent all that extra life. Okay, now, considering that I would like to Cataclysm next turn, do I actually cast any other spells or play any lands? I don't think so. I want to keep Artifact and Creature. Alright, that's just the commander again. That's totally fine. Like, it seems reasonable. Ooh, that's... Oh my god, that's so good here. That's, like, comically good here, in fact. Because I'm going to gain life off the Batterskull. Delicious. Opponent goes to 11. Gosh, I missed casting fucking Cataclysm. Artifact, creature, land, done. Land drop. I'm going to just play the Ocelot Pride rather than the Aether Vial. The Aether Vial gets value over time, including putting in the Ocelot Pride. But I just get dudes immediately. I am into these little cat dudes. We've got looting. Junking a Spell Pierce. Where's your Spell Pierce? Where was your Spell Pierce when the Cataclysm hit? Ooh, that means that I can bounce Batterskull. If I feel like that is a good thing to do. Which I think it is. Opponent goes to 6. This is lethal. I can't redeploy the Batterskull right now, though, so I think I will go ahead and just play this out. It makes it easier for me to, like, redeploy that Phelia while also doing something else. Alright. There's a pretty good chance that we... Even if my Batterskull is answered, that I go wide of what my opponent is doing. They need to do something a little unfair. Reanimate not cutting it right now. Gonna be like a murderous cut. Bone Shards. Discard a card, destroy a creature. Fatal Push, sure. I still just have a couple of cats. Like, that's perfectly reasonable here. Especially when Batterskull Equip is not that far away. Oh, shit, that's so good. Swift reconfiguration is just removal that does not allow that commander to go back to the command zone. I am in. Now this can't block my little guys. I guess the abilities still work. Awkward. Maybe I shouldn't have used that. Exhibit A. I could have sworn there was a lose all other abilities, but it's lose all other card types. Misremembering that might cost me this one. I'll make my land drop past the turn. I can put Phelia into play. Yeah, but I could have just left that in play, answered this Archon. My life's a lot easier. Sacrifice this. I don't know, how's a bunch more cards? Yeah, I think I punted this game. Damn. What is that? When it enters, draw 3 cards, flying, ward 3. Sure. And my opponent's next couple of cards were bangers, though. I'll cast my Phelia now. I can Phelia, blink, animate dead. Have my opponent draw 3 more times. Does this go up? The 3 drops are pretty impactful. I'm going to say yes, this goes up. So, activate. Yes. Skyclave. Skyclave, junk, animate dead. That gets rid of the creature. Go to combat. Send in with Phelia. Phelia blinks Batterskull. That hits my opponent for 2. Batterskull comes back. Suppose I'm not actually dead here. How many 4 and 5 drops do I have? Not that many. Probably leave Vial on 3. So I think I am sacrificing the Germ and hoping to hit a land drop to just equip the Batterskull. Otherwise I Phelia blink, and that's not the end of the world either. Alright, Preordain wasn't good enough. Although it did top 1 card. Currency Converter can now do Currency Converter things. That seems sweet here. I wonder if I want Thalia versus this opponent. Deck's hyper efficient. Thalia still attacks through this shape thing. What is this? Phyrexian Merfolk Wizard, currently vehicle. An Urborg. Oh shit. Okay. Also, no Soul Ring, but we can have Demonic Tutor. Fucked up. Yes. Redirect to command zone. Life's not good. Skrelv is not going to do it. I think at this point I'm going to go ahead and concede. I think this one was tough, but potentially winnable. Only half of my cards are creatures, like the non-lands. So, Thalia has splashback damage. Let's try it, though. Yeah, this is, like, good. This Chef at Dunes is going to cost me a shit ton of life over the course of this game. I guess I should check. Same duder? Same duder. Reaping Tar Pit. Sure. So, this seems fine. Now I can just do colorless with this. Bash in for 1. And Thalia is, like, super replayable if she dies. Are we commandering? We are commandering. Path to Exile, Thalia, non-bow. I think I just live with that. I think I just live with that, and I think I do it right now. So yeah, not the best to have Path to Exile when you are doing Thalia Rashad Port nonsense, but sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. I guess I should not turn off auto yields when my opponent could be playing Edicts, and I might need to animate my Mutavault. Ooh, seems good. So put that into Graveyard. I don't want that to go to my Graveyard, I want that to go to my command zone. Or do I have to click this and then redirect? Yeah, okay. Move to command zone. So, despite mana efficiency not being great, I think I am just replaying this. Try to keep at least some degree of squeeze on my opponent's resources. Yeah, this I like to see. Removal? Yeah, I'll return Thalia to the command zone. That's fine. That's not bad. I think this is an elite Spellbinder turn. Never need on thin ice right now, so this is fine. Okay, so exile a creature you control, reanimate a dude. Reanimate a dude. There's a dude. When it enters, search your library for a card, exile it face down. Cool. Well, shit. My opponent has 3 different reanimation spells. Can't stop it all. Guess I am taking Persist. You don't have any weird protection. Yeah, I guess I'm taking Persist. There's 3 more. No, this is 2 more. I do want to Rashad Port my opponent. if I want to stop them from casting that. But I might prefer to just punch them in the mouth. I think I do. Taxes are over. It is now just death. Opponent goes to 11. And I fully think that I am just trying to tempo out this game here. And I don't know how bad the card that my opponent searches for is going to be. This means that my On Thin Ice is not going to permanently exile that like I was planning. Oh, I guess they can sacrifice the Broodlord to reanimate something else if they get another creature into the graveyard with something like an Entomb. Maybe Port was right. Alright, I get hit in the mouth for 7. I don't take that damage. Then what? Oh, I see. So they can sacrifice it to Phyrexian Tower, then persist it back into play, tutor again. That's cute. Yeah, so Shallow Grave exiles at the beginning of the next end step, not when the creature exits play. Well, I guess in good news, my On Thin Ice does something again. So yeah. Yes. I wonder if it's correct to cast Restoration Angel first there. Try to Restoration Angel, Elite Spellbinder, move a Force of Will to a different zone, and then do that. Probably was. Misses 2 points of immediate damage, though. That's a little rough. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. My opponent can just cast this. No creatures in my opponent's graveyard right now. Alright, we'll take the horror. I don't love this, though. Alright, opponent just playing their commander. And playing defensively. This is not what I need right now. Okay. I think this is 6 now. So much. Should have left a white open for bluffs. Counter spell. If that spell is counted this way, put it on top of its owner's library instead of into that player's graveyard. I believe I can still redirect to the command zone there. And yes, I think it did that automatically. So I do have these dunes that I could maybe use to... Oh, we're getting saucy. Yeah, I'll take that hit. Not gonna let you reanimate that again. It's potentially lethal next turn. Counting discards from the commander, though. Sure. Chunking a land. Oh, right. The other ability there is rough. Okay. That occurs. That doesn't quite get me to where I need to be. So I can Rashad Port, tap down the tar pit, so that doesn't kill me. I can hit my opponent for 2, take 6. But then I don't kill the following turn. How much do you cost? 8. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I can cast a Thalia and then have 6 theoretical damage next turn. Okay. This requires my opponent missing Creeping Tar Pit. But I think this is how I generate my theoretical win. I am dead on board to Creeping Tar Pit if my opponent sees it. Sure, that's fine. But I think I am putting my... I think I am okay putting myself dead to an onboard trick. I don't think this game is getting much better for me. What's the next draw, just for lols? Yep, okay. I regret nothing. GG's. Okay. So, Gerson, Starn, Kellermorph. Ward 2. Whenever another source you control deals exactly 1 damage to a permanent or player, it deals 2 damage to that permanent or player. Okay. My hand doesn't really do anything. I just mulligan this one. What the fuck is this? Alright. Make a night token. At the beginning of your end step, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control and tap those creatures. That's slow. I think I'm okay with that as endgame. I just keep that as my endgame, get rid of Dust Bowl. I could also get rid of Skull Clamp. Skull Clamp is not doing anything right now, and if I want this as my endgame, I don't really need that as endgame too. Yeah, I've talked myself into that. So, what is my commander this game? Is my commander a bait spell this game? My opponent is presumably going to have like a shit ton of dingers and efficient removal that just gets better. Mausoleum Wanderer. Oh. So that is just going to become a 3-power creature effectively. Sure. I don't think I Source of Plowshares that though. 4 options. I'll play that out. Second land drop. Eat 1 damage. Oh, fuck. Alright. Don't love that. So, I can't target my lands, right? Yeah. Why the fuck does this have board 2? Hate this. I want to make a friend. Attack you. Blink out that bombardment temporarily. Alright, now, with that out of play, do I want to Swords to Plowshares this, because this is coming? Or do I want to use my entire next turn to Swords to Plowshares this? I think I want mana efficiency here, but I've never played against this card in my life, so I don't know. Oh, cool. It gives me time to find a new removal. Don't hate that. When opponent plays non-basic lands, I can also just Dust Bowl them into Oblivion. Recruiter of the Guard for Lauren is also kind of cool. Dust Bowl into Sarah Paragon, also combo. It's a little weird to, like, Dust Bowl my opponent into Oblivion when I want this to be my endgame. Oh well. Blink that Goblin Bombardment out of play. Not that it matters. Opponent's at 15. Dust Bowl. Sacrificing a basic plains here since I do just have more of them. Nice. This is the first time Dust Bowl has been good in a decade. Good job, Dust Bowl. Back when I built Death and Taxes, this was still seeing some degree of real legacy play, but even then, it was more of a flex slot than something you had to be doing. Okay, there is another land drop. And there's the commander. So, fucking Ward is obnoxious. I can't just bounce that out of play with Phelia and continue to bash in. I can Recruiter of the Guard for something to answer it next turn, or I could just play Sarah Paragon and intend on, like, Sarah Paragon plus this thing to eat my opponent alive. Kind of like that idea. I could also just keep Dust Bowling my opponent and hoping that it works out somehow. Is it a 3-2? Fuck, that's a 3-2. Never mind. We're balling. Fucking get in there, guys. Blink my Sarah Paragon. The secret is punching your opponent in the face until they die. I've figured out this format. It's easy. Alright, fourth land drop. Let's see how bad this turn gets. Oh, fuck this. Absolutely fuck this. So my opponent can deal 1 damage to my creatures, which turns that into 3 damage. And then my opponent can Goblin Bombardment, throw Fury as well. Ah, everything hurts. Everything fucking hurts. Yeah, Phelia goes to the command zone. Alright, so I expected to lose a creature or two. I wasn't quite expecting it to be that bad, though. Oh, that was disastrous. Alright, so I can now Recruiter of the Guard for a 2-mana card. So, yeah. Oh, this is so many choices. I could also just get a more expensive card and do it next turn. Palace Jailer, almost good. Ward. There's also just my opponent replaying their commander. I don't hate just getting Stoneforge Mystic. Or Spike. You've got it. My little creatures are not safe. I would like to turn them into big creatures. I'm taking this hit. And that's the turn. Eldrazi Displacer is really good to play once I have a little bit more mana. So, love tap for 1. Opponent goes to 10. I think I just cast this. If this eats a counterspell, so be it. I think Eldrazi Displacer is more valuable than it. Like, Spell Pierce obviously doesn't trade for Eldrazi Displacer. Surveil land. Yeah. So I'd love to draw a land and then just Eldrazi Displacer immediately activate on Recruiter of the Guard. That's the plan. L. Okay. Cast. Now we are going to hold on to the initiative for dear fucking life. Get a land. Play a land. Ward 2? I could swift reconfiguration it to make it less likely that my opponent can take it back. I think I'm just going to put another body into play. And if my opponent has something like a Daze, they have something like a Daze. I'm going to get to untap 1 creature with White Plume Adventurer. If this is still around. I think I don't attack. I think it is too risky. I think I just lose if I lose the initiative right now. And my opponent's deck presumably has a decent amount of removal and other creatures that they can sack to Goblin Bombardment. Oh, you could play that from Graveyard, right? Yeah. And that just makes more friends. Oh, fuck, am I gonna die? I guess I did not consider the fact that I might just die. Whenever a source you control deals exactly 1 damage to a permanent or player, yeah. So, my opponent will throw this as well, and then finish me off. Damn. Yeah, they just Goblin Bombardment with their commander. That's it. Well, shit. Do I have a legendary creature with like a really big booty in here that does not die? Small booty. Small booty. Skrelv, also small booty. Everyone's small booty. Phelia? Question mark. Ooh, that's an unfair card. I like that. Not sure which one of those to play first. I think it's Esper Sentinel. That probably gets a card back immediately if my opponent removes it. Swift Spear, sure. Yeah, I'll take that damage. What does this do? Look at target's opponent's hand. You may exile a non-land card from it. Sure. Light Shield Array is actually like pretty reasonable. I can just set this up to like do this. Play Spirit, which has 3 power. Attack for 1. Opponent's at 19. These Fury style cards are gonna be horrifying. Fuck me, though. Alright. So much for that theoretical plan. My mana's not great now. I don't get some of my ideal sequencing here. So play the invasion. 4 damage. I know Hellrider. That card fucks. What is this one? 1 damage. Turn into a guy later. Sure. I just take your land drop. And then play this creature out. The City of Traders mana is a nice boost. It's just sort of awkward right now. Ah, fuck, they drew a land. I'm so going to die to a Hellrider. Guess I need to not F6 here because of Reverent Mantra. No block. Ghost Fire Slice is a thing. That's also devoid. That's kind of hilarious. I have no fucking idea how I'm going to beat Hellrider. I can lose City of Traders to play Skrelv and my commander. Like, I kind of think this gets pitched to that eventually. I think I am just replaying my commander awkwardly. 4th land drop. Is it the commander? It is... yeah? This is, like, so bad for me. Just in terms of resources. Yeah. Alright. Like, I can choose not to use the counterspell. Put my commander in play. My commander can attack that invasion for 2. That's not flipping it immediately. I don't have any good value. Oh, that's a really good draw. Okay. What's the middle one when you cast? Oh. Sure. Thank you. Magic Online. Was there more removal over there? No, in theory. Okay. So, the plan is cast this, it stays alive. I sack City of Traders. I do this as protection. And then I do Phelia Containment Priest nonsense. Maybe I don't play the Skrelv, though. Fuck, maybe it's correct to hold that for Reverent Mantra. Because that's protection this turn. And this turn is what matters. Yeah, I think I fucked that up. Yep. That's fine. Alright, so I'll take all of that. There's a lot. Okay. So, Ward 2? Ward 2. Yeah. Combat. Attacks. I think attack this. Phelia trigger. Phelia target that. Ward 2. Yeah. Yes. Alright. Pass without paying its mana cost. Get counters. Fantastic. So I have Reverent Mantra to get me out of this turn if it looks like my opponent can kill me. My opponent doesn't get their creature because of Containment Priest, which is cool. But can I get Hexproof and Indestructible? Got it. Hellrider. Fuck, it's all creatures get protection from the chosen color. Oh no. I was thinking of the Prismatic Strands. That also gives me protection. I just fucking died. So there's 3 direct damage. Okay. So now I can block this and go to 1. Then I have to figure out how to beat the Hellrider. White Plume doesn't do it. Reverent Mantra doesn't do it. I have to top deck a removal spell. Would I rather have both of these or this? both of these. Let's get indestructible. Alright. That is not a removal spell. Phelia is a removal spell. But then the flyer. Then the flyer. Yeah, so I can exile Hellrider. Die to a flying 1/1. Damn it. I can't pay life for War Room. Well, we come out positive in the league at a 3-2, and I'm pretty happy with that, especially given how many mistakes I made this league. Alright, so overall thoughts on the deck list. Thumbs up. Deck was pretty good. We had a decent amount of agency, a decent amount of value, a commander that came down very early, which seems relevant to me. Most of my cards seemed pretty respectable throughout the league. Some of them are a little more situational. Some of them require things to line up decently. But this was a lot of fun. It felt like I was playing a high-powered cube draft, like a high-powered legacy cube. I don't know that this is one of the best things to be doing in the format. Nothing that I'm doing is inherently broken. There's some cool synergies, but it's not like anything my commander is doing just outright wins the game. I like Phelia's flexibility a lot, though. Like, this can force damage through, this can reuse your things, this can blink an opposing token out of existence. And I think there is something to be said for flexibility here. I give this one a thumbs up. This deck feels pretty darn competitive. There were a couple of cards that I took out because they did not exist on Magic Online, so don't take this as necessarily your exact starting point for what you should be doing, but something that looks approximately like this is probably pretty good. Yeah, I would probably play this format again. We'll see what you all think of it, because that's really what matters here. And if you like what you saw today and you want some cards to round out a deck list so you can play this in paper, TOAmagic.com, promo code ThrabenU, let them know that I sent you. All right, have a wonderful rest of the day, folks. See ya.